Hey everyone, Angelo here. Welcome to another design tutorial. Today we're going to discuss how to create an e-magazine, health and lifestyle e-magazine in Adobe InDesign. I'm going to show you some different interactive elements you can add to an e-magazine, such as clicking an icon to bring up more information about a product. I'm going to show you how to add simple animations, so a headline will slide in when the page loads. I'm going to show you how to add an animation to an image so that it zooms in a 2D format when the page loads. I'm going to show you how to also export the document as an EPUB fixed layout and open it in Apple's Books app. Okay, and so let's get started. First and foremost, I want to show you the document size that I'm working on. So I'm just going to go here and go up to File and New Document. So when you're creating a new document, be sure to select the Web tab up top, because this is transferring over to a digital format. So I would click that, and then in your presets here, you're only going to see 4. I'm gonna select View All Presets and make my way down to 1024 pixels by 768. So that's the format that I'm working on. It's going to come in as a landscape, but because this is a magazine, I wanted to keep the traditional feel and make it portrait. You can make it however many pages you want. You can set columns, adjust the gutter. These are also things you can adjust afterwards, so you're not set in stone. One thing we do want is facing pages. And so I have 6 pages here, and then I would just hit Create, Pages. There are my 6 pages, okay? I'm just gonna go back to the document I'm working on because I've already laid this out. And we'll start on page 2 here. This is the area that I wanna work on first. And let me just zoom in to show you. Basically what I wanna do here is I wanna click this icon that I've created, and it'll bring up this information about the product that I'm promoting here in this e-magazine, okay? I'm going to do that down here as well, and I'm going to do that down here as well. So it's important to know that we're going to be using interactive panels today, and so you can switch your entire workspace from Essentials up here to digital publishing. But what I do is I just leave it on Essentials because I do like having the Properties panel accessed. Instead, I'll just go to Window, Interactive, and just pick and choose which panels I want. So for this tutorial, we want animation, we want buttons and forms, and we want object states. The first one we're going to work on is object states, okay? So with your selection tool, in your layout, if you have a detailed spread like this, click on the first description. Just click it once. Hold your Shift key down and click the second one, and then go down to the last one and click that one as well. We're just clicking on the descriptions and not anything else. Let's open up the Object States panel. I'm just going to tear it off here to show you. So it's Object States. Again, that can be accessed from Window, Interactive, Object States. And what I want to do here is I want to create a multi-state object. So I'm going to click this icon here, the plus icon, click that. That's going to create state 1, which is my first state. Let me just click this here. State 1, you can see it's highlighted up top here. State 2, State 3. And you'll notice when I'm clicking one, the other one disappears, it collapses. Now, oftentimes when you're creating a multi-state object like this, these states may come in different order, so you'll have to either rename them or drag them in order. So you can drag these. So drag them in order because oftentimes state 1 will be down here. And so you want, just to take the confusion out, rename them and drag them in the order that you see them on the page. So the state 1, state 2, state 3, okay? So I'm going to zoom out just briefly here. So I have this object state here, and I'm just going to click on this object states, the options, the object state options here, this icon. Click that, and we want to hide it until it's triggered, okay? we don't want this appearing when the page loads. So let's hide that until it's triggered. That is done. We have state 1, state 2, state 3, okay? That's it. I'm just gonna put that back. Now we're gonna focus on the buttons that I've created here. So I wanna click this and this will pop up. So go ahead and click that. As you can see, I've already turned it into a button. So if I put my guides on, see that little icon in the bottom right-hand corner? That's signifying to me that it is a button. So let's open the buttons and forms. I'm gonna tear it off again. So I'm gonna click this. By the way, I've just designed a circle and then overlaid a exclamation mark, grouped them by going to Object and Group. This way, when you click either one of them, they'll be together, and you can also make that a button. So that's what I've done there. So the type, I want this to be a button. I've already set that. The action, this is important. So this plus sign here, add new action for selected event. I'm gonna click that. And typically you would want, if you were doing like a presentation slide, you would make it next page or last page or previous page. I'm gonna work my way down, so EPUB only. This is an EPUB that we're working on, and I want this to go to a state. So let's click that, and right here you select the state that you want that button to go to. So it is state 1, so I'll leave that as state 1. So that one's done. And I'm gonna go down to state 2 here. I'm gonna click that button. So button is correct. You can rename these buttons if you want. I'm just going to leave it as button 3. Again, this is important. Click on the plus sign, go to state, and change it from state 1 to state 2. Okay, that one's done. Let's go to the last one here. Salt and pepper mills. I'm going to click that. So it's already set to a button. Set an action to go to state, and the last one is state 3. Now we could test this out and your preview spread EPUB. So let me just move this up here. See down below in the bottom left hand corner, preview spread EPUB. I'm gonna click that. We're gonna do that in a second, but I'm just gonna zoom in here. And you see up here, I can click that first one. There's the first one. There's the second one. The first one's collapsed, and then the last one. The second last one will collapse, and then that one will appear. And then you can just work your way backwards if you want, but those are activated now, okay? And basically, I've explained this in previous tutorials. That's basically working with object states and buttons and forms, okay? So that one's all set. All right, let's move our way up to here. I'm gonna take the animation off this. So let's say none, and that one also does not have. So that's good. I'm going to move buttons and forms back into the panel here. And okay, so this is basically a headline and just a secondary image that I want to add an animation to. This one here, I'm going to set it to zoom in a 2D format. And this here, I'm just going to have it slide in from the right-hand side of the page. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I added a headline here, and then I added an image, which I overlaid over that part of the photo. Okay. All right. So let's do this. I'm gonna start with the headline first. I'm gonna click that, and we want animation. So I'm gonna click the animation panel. And I'm just gonna tear it off here. I'm gonna move it like so. Okay. So I'm gonna click on my headline. I'm going to add a preset to this. There's many to choose from. I want this to fly in from the right, and this will appear. It'll show you a preview of how that will look. Add an event. This is important too. How do you want this to appear? Preferably, I'd like it to appear on page load. You could set it to on rollover, on click, on page click. But I think for this instance, having it on page load is probably your best bet. So on page load, that's good. You can set the duration of how long you want this to play. I'm going to leave it at 1 second. You can set it, the play time at 1 second as well. You can set a loop so it keeps doing it. I don't see a reason why you would have to do that in this case. And then you could set the opacity. I have it fading in. It just gives it a nice look to it. You can also set the location. I'm just gonna keep it the origin of it in the center. Okay, so that's good, and you can just preview that if you want by going to the EPUB preview, and there it is. It's sliding in from the right. That's exactly what I want. Now let's move this over here. I'm gonna click on the image and do the same thing. Only this time, I'm gonna add a different animation. Click the preset, and I want zoom in 2D, okay? Let's do that. Also on page load, the duration is a little bit longer than that one, which is fine. And then everything else is the same. The opacity from preset is fine as well. So let's give that a go and see how that looks. So there's that, and there's that. Let's have that actually. Let's try something else here. Let's make this the duration maybe. Let's try that now. That looks pretty good too. I just set this to play a little bit longer. But the look of it is fine too, and you could play with those other adjustments to see if they meet your requirements for your layout. Test things out. Also, as an added, I'm just gonna move this over for a sec, and I'm gonna go to Window and Interactive and Timing. Let's just try something else out. So you see here, Top Kitchen Trends. That's my headline. You can play around with the timing of how these actually play as well. So there's Top Kitchen Trends, and there's that photo there. I'm just gonna hold my Command or Control key on your Windows, collect them together, and you can actually play these together. So I'm gonna click that and see how that looks if I play these on page load together. Well, that's kind of cool, right? Let's try that again. I like that, right? So you could test out things like that. So have them play together so one's not coming in first and then the other. I'm gonna keep it like that. That's pretty cool too. All right, so let's close that. Timing, you can just move that back here. Okay, and then there's another one here. I'm just gonna go to my pages and let's go to page 4. Again, this is a cooking tip in this recipe here that I've set up. And so let's do the same thing. I'm gonna click this description or this cooking tip, and I'm going to go to Object States, and I'm gonna make that a state. Now there's only one, so that's good. I'm gonna click on the icon, go to the Buttons and Forms panel, give it an action. I'm gonna click, and you guessed it, we're gonna have it go to a state, which is the cooking tip. And I'm gonna click this, and we want I believe it's state 2. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's try. I may have gone awry there. Let's try something else. Oh, I know what I did there. One thing I forgot to do is I'm gonna click this, and I'm gonna hide it until it's triggered. Now let's try that. By clicking that. Let's see if that works. Okay. Not sure what's going on here. Let's try that again. Maybe it's the wrong. We'll get it. Let's try this again. Maybe the button's off. I'm just gonna delete that state for a second. Click that. Let's hide that until triggered. Let's see if that works. It's giving me a tough time here. I'm just gonna bypass this because basically I did it up here. And actually, one more thing I want to try. Let me just remove the button completely and do this over again. What I'll do is I'm going to go up here and just actually grab this button. Let's go over here. And I'll just change, let's remove the object state from there. Release state to object. Yes. Okay, let's try that again. So this is a button, I just have to make this a state first. So let's click this and create a state. Perfect. And I'm gonna hide that until triggered. Let's click that button. Go to state. Yeah, something's happening there that I don't know about. So I'm just gonna bypass this and go on to how to export this as a EPUB fixed layout, okay? So what I wanna do is go up to File and Export, and you'll see that I'm gonna rename this here, Kitchen Magazine, and I'm gonna set this to my desktop. And you'll notice here, so when you're exporting, it's probably going to pop up as a Adobe PDF print as a default. Go ahead and click that, and let's go to Fixed Layout, EPUB. And let's go ahead and save that out. Your EPUB Fixed Layout export options are going to show up, okay? These are important to note. So the viewing apps, I'm just going to go down here. The viewing apps, I have mine as a default because I'm working on a Mac, that it's going to open in Books, okay? And you can also add applications that you think may open this, okay? So I'm going to go back to General and Export Range. I want to export all the pages. I also want to have these set to image high quality, and the metadata I've already plugged all that stuff into. So you can actually put this in here, or you can do it in the file and then file information, and it'll just transfer over in here, okay? So I'm going to hit OK, and you'll notice that it's going to open in this here. Let me just open that up and let's try it out. So there it is. There's the first page. I'm gonna go over. There's that animation. I'm gonna go into this page here. Click there, click there, click there. Go on to my last page. And I'm not sure what was happening on this. I have to go back and investigate that. I'm not sure what was going on, but you see you have a really nice layout here, and the fixed EPUB fixed layout carries all the fonts over, all the images, all the interactive tools as well, and then you can kind of go through it that way. Hey everyone, I promised I would look into why that button wasn't working on the cooking tip, and I came to a conclusion that the reason it wasn't is because it had different text frames sitting on top of each other. So let's try that again. I'm going to click on the text frame and let's create a new state. You can either do it that way or just click on this icon. Let me just tear this off. Click the icon again. Okay, now you can see the icon showing that's actual state. I'm just going to regular click hidden until triggered. That's good. Now let's go back to buttons and forms. Let me put this back down here. I'm going to, with my selection tool, click on the icon, go to buttons and forms. Let me bring that up. It's already a button. And the action, we do want this to go to a state, which we initially did. I'm going to change that to state 2 because that's what that state is called. And now, if I test that out, we should be able to click, and there it is. So the reason that wasn't working is because there were several text boxes on top of each other, which was hindering the button from actually working. As an added bonus, I'm going to show you how to format a recipe in an e-book magazine. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just double click in here, and in my paragraph styles, I'm going to put this away. Paragraph styles can be accessed from Window, Styles, Paragraph Styles, and that will bring up this window here. I'm just going to tear that out as well. You can also access the paragraph styles in your properties panel right here. Okay, paragraph styles, character styles. We're going to focus on paragraph. So I did create a paragraph style already, which is called recipe style. And let me just, you know what? I'm going to start a new style here. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to strip out the formatting by holding Option and clicking on Basic Paragraph. Now all the formatting has been stripped. And let's go ahead and highlight that. And in my font, we're going to select Baskerville Italic. Okay, and I want the point size to be 8. So I want it fairly small, and I want the leading to be 14. Okay, and I did add tabs to all of these. Okay, so let me just go to, let's go to Object or Type and Show Hidden Characters. Okay, and I'm gonna assume, so these little arrows here are tabs. So I would just, actually, if it was just a space, it'd be a dot, but I have tabs in between, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to save this as a new I'm going to save this as a new paragraph style. So I'm going to highlight the text that I've just created, and I'm going to go down here, move that up right there, new style. I'm going to click that, and there it is there. I'm going to rename it Recipe Style 2. Style 2. This way there's no confusion. Okay. So if I click on Basic Paragraph Style, it's just going to go back to its Basic Paragraph Style, Recipe Style 2. It saves that formatting. Now there's something else I want to do here, because you can see the tabbing is off. And so I'm just going to click off here, and I'm going to double click Recipe Style 2. Now if at any moment I wanted to change this paragraph style, I can go into the basic character formats, and if I wanted to make it bigger, maybe a point size bigger, you can do that. I'm going to leave it at 8. If you wanted to increase the leading, you could see it's happening in real time. But I also want to focus right here on tabs. I want to add a tab in here, because right now it's just, I tabbed it, but it's not properly tabbed. That's why you see some of the words kicking over. So click on the tabs, and I want a left justified tab. And I'm just going to click on this gray bar up here, and then kind of maneuver it until you see everything line up nicely. Okay, you can see there's no words kicking over. Obviously, if it's over here, it's going to kick over. Bring it over to about 30 right there. That's good. And then that's good. And if I wanted to change the color of this, I would go to character color, maybe give it another color. You could see things are updating in real time. And so I'll just leave it black and hit OK. And there you go. That's how you create a recipe style. And over here, ingredients, again, I want that to be a different style. And I've already created one here, ingredients header, and there you go. So whenever you're creating any kind of ingredients or a recipe, using those two methods, tabbing things properly is a good way to go. So we figured out why that button wasn't working, and I threw in another little tip on how to create a recipe style in Adobe InDesign. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.